What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out a video from UniverseofKorede, Foreigners Stunned by UK Pub Culture. I have a feeling when we finally get over to the UK, we will be those foreigners that are stunned by UK pub culture.
Probably.
Partially because it's obviously a different culture, but also we really don't have much experience with pubs in general.
Right, and we don't go to bars either. We don't really drink. So.
Not that much. In my youth, I did. I spent quite a bit of time in what we would call pool halls, which are bars. I don't think they're like what I expect a UK pub, or at least the average UK pub, to be. A UK pub tends to be more
socializing, like hanging out with your neighbors, kind of.
Yeah, it seems to be how the community gets together and kind of hangs out.
Bar is the more common term here. Or at least it used to be. I don't know about nowadays.
I think so. I don't really see pubs, the word pub, around here that often. So.
Unless it's someone trying to be like a British pub or an Irish pub.
Yeah, very true. I think if you go out to like places like Boston,
bigger cities,
you might find what you would call a pub. But anyways, guys, I want to find out what people that are visiting the UK from outside the UK think about UK pub culture, because I know it's going to be vastly different from what is experienced in probably most countries, definitely the US.
Yeah.
So anyways, guys, enough rambling. Let's go and check this out.
What do you think of British pub culture?
Oh, I love pub culture. I'm an active participant every week. Every week.
What do you love about British pub culture?
I like the community it builds.
Yeah.
I like that there's no like stigma around it. I remember I did an internship like for the first time, and I was very confused about the fact that I was just getting drunk with like the CEO. I was like, oh, okay.
Is that a thing?
That.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
That would be for sure strange.
Yeah, that would be very interesting. I had never thought of it like that, but that easily could happen. You go and get hired from somewhere and you meet the boss down at the pub and you actually become friends with the boss.
I feel like in the comments of a different video, I don't remember which video it was, but I feel like people said it's really common, like at lunch, for everyone to go get drinks at the pub or something.
Now that you mention, I remember something like that.
And just go back to work.
I think that seems to be vastly different from here.
Where are you from?
We're from South Korea.
Yeah, South Korea.
Pub culture in the UK. Do you guys go to pubs in the UK?
Pubs in UK, yeah, quite often, I guess. Yeah.
What do you think of pub culture in the UK? How do you find pubs to be?
It's really cool, I guess. Like most of the things happens in pub in UK, and
Most of the
really
things
like
happen.
What do you like most about it?
I love Sunday roast.
Oh yeah. Oh man,
That's so good.
Now that to me is amazing that you would find that at a pub, like, because again, I think of pubs like bars, but
remember we just started over on Patreon, In-Betweeners.
yes,
and I think was it the first episode? Because we've only watched one episode.
It has to be the first episode. So far, we've only watched
They
one.
went to a pub. And they
pubs.
and they had to get like a Sunday roast with their drink.
And it was called the Carvers or something.
Carvery.
The Carvery, yeah. Is that literally a thing at a lot of pubs? I would find something like that to be very interesting to get it, like what I think of as a pub.
Yeah.
That is fascinating, and I would love to experience that, right? Like, that looks delicious. I don't know if pubs normally serve like Sunday roast that looks that good.
Right.
But that's phenomenal if they do.
Most people don't like Sunday roast. What do you like about Sunday roast?
I mean, it's quite cheap.
Quite
compared
cheap.
to other stuff here.
Okay,
and
that's
it's
mind-boggling.
like a special event every week, so yeah, I like it.
Nice. When I say
I would think that'd be more
most
expensive.
foreigners, British people love Sunday roast, but foreigners often say that Sunday roast is a bit dry. But you're saying that you love it.
It's good. I love it.
That's what the gravy's for, right?
Why?
That did when we saw the Sunday roast video. Everywhere they went, it did not look dry to me. It looked delicious.
Now, if you're getting at a pub, I'm sure it varies heavily on location how good it is.
And that makes me wonder, like, do you always consider it a carvery, and then you go up and they're slicing off a piece of roast for you? Is that what's going on, or do they bring you out a whole plate? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How does that work in a pub? But so far what we've seen, including that little image there, that looked delicious. I don't think it looked dry at all.
Yeah.
All right, cool. What about you? How do you find British pubs to be?
I think it's really cool because we can try various beer. In every pub, they have their own beer, like their own IPA, or yeah, there are so many breweries in the UK, so I really like it.
I'm from the Dominican Republic.
What about pubs? Have you gone to any pubs in the UK?
Yeah, we went pubs.
What do you think of UK pub culture?
Honestly, I like how people come out of work and go straight to pubs. I love that. I think more countries need to do something like that.
How does it compare to?
I do like the
culture in
social aspect of that.
Well, we don't have pubs. People drink a lot, but it's just different. I think it's the setting, the way pubs look is very different.
Yeah.
And I think it's also the types of drinks. It's just very different. And people just come out of their work clothes and go drinking. People in the DR, they don't do that. They have to like dress to go drink.
And where are you from?
You know, I remember when we did that video about like the different pub names, and we were seeing the compilation of all the different types of pubs, and it's amazing how beautiful some of these pubs are.
And the character, like it's just some of these really old establishments.
As someone who's into like design, I like design and architecture and things like that, and beautiful places and whatnot. Going to different pubs just to see them and see the inside some of these old pubs and just see the character, like you're saying, that alone would be amazing.
It's an experience.
Yeah, that alone is an experience. Then, you know, the socialization aspect is even another experience. The possible food aspect of Sunday roast and stuff, eating at a pub is another experience.
Yeah.
And then, you know, possibly in some of the smaller pubs where a lot of locals congregate and they all know each other. I think that would be a very unique experience to be a part of as well.
I find that very intimidating though, like as an outsider going to the UK and then like ending up at some hole in the wall pub that's like very local and small,
and
everyone's just like staring like when you come in. I just get like nervous.
I have a feeling that you would be welcomed in though.
I'm sure, but it's just as an introvert, it's a very uncomfortable
I can
feeling.
imagine it would be in a small pub. You know, I've been into bars like that though, like in small hole in the wall bars in like a no name town. You go in there, you go in there, and you're just gonna go play some pool, and you walk in, and like people look at you like everybody knows everybody.
Stops.
Yeah, everybody knows everybody there. So when a new person comes into a place where it's like a town of like 100, you know, it's like okay,
awkward.
Yeah, a little awkward. Yeah.
Original from China, yeah. Yeah, I'm from China too.
And what about British pubs?
Last week or 2 weeks ago is about the World Cup.
Oh, I bet the World Cup pubs were,
to watch that.
And what do you think of British pubs? How do you find them to be?
In China, I didn't go to pubs, so I don't know how to say that. But here is the vibe is nice. People can meet new people, and they are friendly.
I'm allergic with alcohol.
Really?
But my
Never heard of
friends,
that.
they love to go to pub. They might go there to see the football game.
Oh my gosh.
And
Wow.
they can have fun in pub.
What have you loved about pub culture in the UK?
So I've loved about pub culture, like I kind of said earlier with the clubs, is that you can talk to anyone from quite literally anywhere. There's people in London from quite literally all over the US.
Really?
So being able to just have a simple conversation, I feel like it's a lot more normalized to go up to someone and just start talking, rather than in the US, they kind of are like standoffish. They're very in their groups, they're very in their cliques. They don't really want to explore, but you can talk to anyone and you can learn about their life experiences, and I think it's very interesting to learn about a bunch of different perspectives because you can't always just have your own.
Yeah, I would say same thing, the people. I loved how, like Emma said, everybody was always out to the pubs. 5 p.m., they're there. You can always find people there. I would even go alone sometimes, which unpopular, but in the U.S. that's unheard of. Like you cannot go to a bar
really
alone,
unheard of?
especially as a woman.
Maybe
It's
in a bigger
definitely
city.
big thing.
Probably.
So I felt very comfortable walking out of work and going into a pub and getting a drink. I wasn't getting talked to or harassed, and I felt very safe and very comfortable. So as a woman in a big city, that was a big deal for me, to just have the freedom to kind of do what I wanted and not have a fear consistently of men and, you know, all of that we definitely see a lot in the States. So that was a big comfortability for me, pub culture wise, in the UK. But I would also just say, like, it's just, you got to go to an Irish pub. You have to. I mean, like, the ambiance, especially being here during the World Cup, the drinks, the bartenders, like, everyone is just there to grab a pint and have a good time. And it's a routine, unlike the U.S. where it's an occasion. And I really like that.
You know, that is interesting. I don't know if I would say it's an occasion here, because a lot of people go on a regular basis to bars, right? You know, like it is an occasion for some people. It would be an occasion for me. I don't go to bars very often, but for a lot of people, like when I was growing up, when I was younger, you know, in my early 20s and whatnot, I went. It was pretty regular for me to go to a bar. I'd go to the pool halls all the time. I was there almost every night, right, for a very long period of time. But you know, I find it interesting what she was saying, what both of them were saying. I think that the experience you're going to have just like in the UK, you go to a pub in a small community versus a pub in London, it's going to be completely different probably because you got more local versus a bunch of different people coming in from all walks of life in the bigger cities. In the US, I think it's the same thing. If I go to a pub in the middle of New York, a pub or a bar in the middle of New York City versus one that's like in a small town America where there's 300 people in the town, that's going to be a vastly different experience.
I think though in the UK the heart of the experience is probably the same.
Yes.
No matter where you go.
Yeah, I agree. I wish it was more community oriented here than it seems to be. And I think that's something you get at pubs, in the UK. I feel like I kind of feel like it's the vibe of Cheers in a way.
Yeah,
like everybody knows your name. Especially in not so much in the larger pubs probably, like in larger cities, but if you go to the smaller areas, I'm sure it's like that.
Pubs, what do you think of British pub culture?
Well, the British pub culture is like, I don't think there's a better pub culture. Like, let's be honest. Like, I don't go to pubs myself that much, but when I do, it feels it doesn't feel like it's deviated a lot from what it used to be, if that makes sense. Like, that's a tradition that's genuinely stayed for like a long time, Like, I don't think it's changed that much. Perhaps a different opinion from someone of an older generation, but whenever
top tier?
I think it's top tier.
How does it compare to pub culture in Italy?
There's not much of a drinking culture in Italy.
You sound Jamaican.
Okay, drinking culture in the UK is a whole different league from the one in Italy. Like, personally, in Italy it's not really. Yeah, there's not even that many like pubs like that. Whilst in England, anywhere in the UK, you'll find pubs that were like the oldest pubs, really traditional, and they have a lot of history behind it. Every time you walk into a pub, you always see a painting or something that it just shows a lot of history behind.
I love the names of them.
Which in Nottingham's Castle
pretty
Rock.
cool. It's very traditional as well.
What about pub culture?
Okay. Yes. Like just seeing that is just so awesome. I can't wait to experience that.
Behind it and the names, I love the names.
But I had learned that it was during COVID time that a lot of pubs unfortunately shut down and they didn't recover. So it was like a massive amount of reduction in pubs over like the last 5 or 10 years or something.
Which is really sad.
That is sad because I love the aspect of what he's talking about. They still seem to have their tradition. And I am a sucker for keeping traditions alive and keeping cultures alive. And I love the fact that at least on the outside looking in, it seems like, the pub culture and what the vibe is about, it has stayed, true to its origins.
Right.
It's about community. It's about family. It's about bringing people together. It's sure you go drink there. Maybe there's darts. Maybe you get a meal, but it's literally about it's a meeting house. Is what it is, and I love that because we don't really have that. Like I feel like it is overseas. I feel like we don't really have that as much here. You know what I mean?
Definitely not.
And we need stuff like that.
Oh, I thought you said pop.
No, pop.
Pop culture is incredible. Let me tell you right now, that's something we necessarily don't have in the US. The fact that you have the ability to after work let's go to the pub next door, let's go grab a drink. We love pub culture here. It's very different from the US, but let me tell you right now, we love it and we're gonna miss it. How is
it so different from the US? Because I went to New York last year.
Yeah.
I went to a pub and it wasn't a bar where they did trivia night, and it didn't seem that different to me. So and it was air conditioned as well. What's the difference?
It's just like you go on every single street and there's a pub, and there's so many people there. I think the culture around drinking and drinking with your colleagues is much more relaxed than it is in the US.
Yeah.
In the US, it's more so of let's become friends first and then we'll kind of work to that. Versus here, it's more like you work with your colleagues. Okay, let's go grab a pint after work. And it's honestly been incredible, the pub culture. We've gone almost every single night after work and it's been really fun. It's been really fun.
And
something on what she just said, every single night after work, how expensive does that get? Like, what's your budget like, you guys, per week on going to the pub? Because it seems like it would be very expensive to do that.
You know, and he brought up something. He said he went to New York and went to a pub, and it wasn't, he didn't notice a lot of differences. And, you know, that's something that I think is something that any American that would be watching this could have a completely different experience from us, because like if you are from New York City or Boston, for example,
there's probably authentic British pubs there.
You probably have, you know, you probably have Brits or Irish expats that moved here and opened up some pubs. But like when you move to the smaller areas, or when you're in the smaller areas, kind of like we are, or where we've grown up, we don't have that access to pubs in the same way that I think a few of the larger cities do.
No, I will say, funnily enough, well, it's called an Irish pub, and it just opened in my hometown, which is kind of random. The last place I would ever expect an Irish pub to open, but we might have to check it out.
Yeah, because I got to say this, when she showed me a picture, I got smacked by it. It smacked me to the floor, because like, it was fish and chips, baby. And like, that's something that I've mentioned numerous times. I can't get fish and chips around here. And like, unless you go to the fast food fish joint that's gross, and I won't even do that. I'm not even going to try it. But this actually looked pretty good. I think it was haddock, I believe.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I might have to try that at some point. I'm not going to say it would be the same as overseas. Right. It probably wouldn't be, but I might actually be able to finally get fish and chips here for the first time, ever since being here.
We'll see. We'll keep updated.
So, yeah, if we go do that, I think we will at some point. I just personally wanted to say that I feel like everybody from America, depending on where they are, they could have a different experience with something like this. I just know in my experience, I've lived in multiple places, and I've never really been around what I would consider to be what you guys would think of as a traditional pub. I only had bars and pool halls around, except maybe what my dad owned when I was a kid, which we might be able to consider that a pub because of the way it was. It was more of a meeting house in a way, which I think is
like regulars coming in and hanging out.
Yeah. But I also think the culture aspect of what they're talking about is different no matter where you're at, because it's ingrained into the culture to meet after work. You go on a regular basis. You're hanging out with your colleagues, even your boss, things like that. I think is very different than what you experience here.
What about the pubs? Do you go to English pubs at all, or British pubs, and how do you find that?
I've been to a couple of them, but I don't really drink, so just taking coffee, chatting with my friends.
What have you found the pub experience to be like?
Do they do coffee and stuff there?
Entertaining? No, I feel like Spanish pubs are like more lively than here, but
are they bars?
Nice, it's cool.
Interesting. In what way are Spanish pubs more lively than British pubs?
Because we are a bit more noisy. We chat a lot, and here is very calm.
Huh? I feel like maybe you haven't gone out late at night to see the lack of calm.
Yes, like I've been around 10 o'clock out, not farther than that.
What do you think about British pub culture and British pubs in general?
We're having a great time. Most of them are good, unless there's just like old drunk guys. The old drunk men are always out.
Well, that's the point.
How does it compare to pubs in the US?
Wait, wouldn't the old drunk men always be out because they're always out getting drunk?
At a pub.
At a pub? So wouldn't that be a normal thing for them to be? Wouldn't that be a normal sight?
I feel like that's the same here in the US.
Right. I feel like if I go to a bar, I would expect to see
an older drunk guy or two.
Yeah. That's kind of what you would expect to have at a pub or a bar. I wouldn't expect you to ever go to a pub and you literally see no one drunk. That would be odd to me, wouldn't it?
Yeah. There's just not pubs in the U.S. It's like bars.
That's what I'm thinking.
If you're going after work, you get one drink after work and you go home.
Wait.
Or if it's clubs, you don't go to the club until a certain amount of time, which you guys have here. Pub culture could either take all night or half an hour.
Yeah, it's nice. There's more options. You don't have to get ready for a whole night out. You can just
it's more about socializing versus being out.
Yeah.
So yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to put that.
Accidentally do that, which is lovely.
Where are you from?
I'm from Turkey.
Have you gone to any British pubs? Experienced pub culture in the UK?
Yeah.
All right. So you got some questions. What do you think of British pub culture?
Yeah, I think this is also quite interesting. It feels like, it's a place where people can come together and socialize. And I think particularly in the neighborhood pubs, you have this more like coming together and then sharing. And, I don't think similar type of culture exist in more like bar environments, which is the closest thing that you see in other parts of the world.
And I was going to ask you, how does it compare to pub culture in Turkey, if any?
I don't think we have much pubs. We have like bars, we have restaurants,
That's
but we have something
interesting.
very different, like which we call meyhane culture. Yeah, it's a stronger socialization.
And I'm from South Korea.
What is it that you like about British pub culture?
I honestly don't like pop culture.
Oh, you don't like pub culture?
No,
Why is that?
because I don't like drink.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, fair enough. So you
But
don't drink
it's
alcohol.
more than
No,
that.
I do sometimes, but yeah, I don't like drink every day like.
I don't think you even have to. Wait, what?
So what rating would you give British pub cultures out of 10? From 1 being terrible to 10 being the best?
9.
9, yeah. I would say it's pretty high.
Yeah.
Like 6 out of 10.
Well,
Why do you
okay.
say that?
Because sometimes when I see people in the street, they're really drunk and loud.
I will give it, honestly, I will give it an 8. It was very solid. I liked it.
7? Yeah. Yeah, 7.
That's a good score. Why 7?
Yeah, it's good. I don't meant to go there, yeah.
I would rate UK pubs
10.
a 10. I rate 10 out of 10.
Okay. That's a resounding rating.
I would say 7.5, 8.
I'm surprised she
maybe.
rated it that high.
That's a good rating.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's good. I feel like Spanish is better, but it's really nice.
What rating would you give British pub cultures out of 1 to 10?
10. 10.
Wow.
If the
perfect
bathroom's
score.
clean, 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't reckon the bathrooms are clean that often. Are
Some
they?
of them are.
Yeah?
Depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything that you recommend? No.
I like the one near my house, but I'm not gonna dox
Yeah,
myself.
don't dox yourself. No.
No.
I think I would say somewhere in between 7 to 8. And I think the negative parts are like usually you have unhealthy foods. You know, it's very limited choices of like healthy food and hygiene. Other than that, I really enjoy going to pubs and then like having a few drinks, talking to people. I can give 9 because I spent really good time in the pubs in UK. So I can give 9.
What makes it a 9? Because that's almost perfect.
People are nice, so I also like to eat.
Don't we all?
That's all right for me. Yeah.
I give it a good 8. I give it a good 8. I'm not much of a drinker myself, but when you're there with the lads in it, like it's a good experience.
I would rate it a 10 out of 10. Obviously, there's nothing I would change or fix about it, so that is why I would give it a 10.
20 out of 10. Best in the world.
20.
Best in the world. Best in the world.
Guys, this was eye-opening to say the least. It's really fascinating what one of these people said that I think is so awesome. I can't remember which person it was, but she said something about like, you don't feel like you have to get all dressed up and go out. It's like here
Just come as you are kind of thing.
Yeah, and I don't and here's the thing. If I go to a bar, I'm not getting dressed up. And that's not what I'm saying, but it's like here it feels like if I'm going to the bar, it's an event. I'm planning to go to do this versus it feels like if you go to a pub, I'm just walking by. I'm like, I'm gonna go into the pub. It's like it feels like it's
much
like
more casual.
more casual, more of just I'm gonna do this on the spur of the moment versus here's like, oh, I'm gonna go out 3 days from now to the bar to play pool or whatever.
I don't have a lot of experience with bars or anything like that here.
Because you grew up in a small area.
Yeah, and when I did live in the city, it's just not my thing really.
Yeah.
So I'm like a homebody, I'd rather read a book. But I feel like here, based on my limited perspective, that it's about impressing people. Like when you go out, you want to.
It can be.
Like you want to look good, or whereas a pub, like we said, is casual and it's just more like. Good vibes and.
I feel like depending on the bar here, it would be in some bars absolutely about impressing people.
Right.
But when I was growing up,
small town bars.
Yeah, when I was growing up in my small town, when I was growing up, my town was probably 4,000 or 5,000 people.
Yeah.
You lived in a town 2,000?
No, I don't even think it was that one.
Yeah, so like we are from small towns originally, and we still live in a. What's this? Where we live, 20,000 people, less than 20,000 people. So we don't have the living and experience of being able to walk from our home to like a bar or a pub where there's gonna be massive amounts of people. We have more of the small town vibe type experiences with bars. And growing up, I spent a lot of time in pool also. Like I spent from the time. Well, I grew up from the time I was like 11. My dad purchased that bar, pub, whatever you want to call it. I grew up there and I started bar backing, so I was bringing beer up, stuff like that.
Probably wouldn't be allowed nowadays.
Well, that was my family thing.
I know.
And then I was like, I was cooking in the back eventually, prep cook, doing dishes, all that stuff, starting at about 11 years old into my teen years. And then once I got in later in my teen years, I actually went and worked at another bar. And I worked there for quite a while. And through that whole time, I spent a ton of time in different pool halls and stuff like that. So in my early years, before I was a teenager, all the way up through my 20s, I spent a lot of time in bars and pool halls and things like that. But since then, since about the late 20s, I really haven't done a lot of bars, pubs, pool halls and things like that. I used to love, man, pool, going to pool halls, bars, playing pool. That was my thing. I loved that.
But we have to play snooker when we go to the.
I know. I can't wait. Snooker is something I think I'm going to really enjoy because it's very similar. It's billiards. It's very similar to pool. It's just a little bit of a learning curve there, obviously, but it's been forever. But all that to say, I have a lot of bar experiences, but I don't have a lot of pub experiences. At least the difference that I think. But guys, I have been rambling so much on this video. I am sorry. It's like every turn. At the end here, I tried to shut up, but at the beginning, it's like every time someone finished, I had a thought. So I'm going to try to edit some of that out to make this video a little shorter than it probably is. But guys, safe to say, we look forward to visiting a pub. Obviously, I understand that we can actually bring Sophia when we do visit a pub.
That just feels so strange to me.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I kind of can't believe that's.
I know it's so different here because I would never take my daughter to the bar. It just wouldn't be a thing. Which is one reason why I very rarely visit bars because we can't take her. So it just doesn't really work very well. Anyway, guys, I'm rambling. We're rambling. Or maybe it's just me. Anyway, I think that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey. Until next time, peace.